So you'd want to know? Like, yeah, we'd want to know. Oh gosh, at least now I know because I'm so.
Are you dating somebody?
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, how's it? What kind? Now, this video, I said a while ago I'm going to do this, and I came through with my word. I finally got my busy host mom to be on my channel. But before I introduce you guys to my stunning host mom, I just want to give a quick shout out to these two people on the screen. Thank you so much for being the first two people that commented in the previous video. So let's get into today's video. Hi. Everyone finally gets to see you. I feel like people have been wanting to see you because they heard your voice in the spicy noodles thing.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh my gosh, you should have your host mom on the channel. So here she is.
Here I am.
So in today's video, I asked a bunch of people a while ago and today and this week to give me questions for you to answer.
Okay.
So some of them are questions and I think some of them people just added them in. So let's go. Okay, I'm gonna start at the bottom of the word a lot. We may not answer all the questions because some of them I can answer on my own. Like she doesn't have to be there. But the first question is, why do some host moms want to track their au pair? Okay. That's it.
I have the same question. I don't know why. I know that there are quite a few host moms or host families, I shouldn't just say moms, that track their au pair either on their car, mostly on their car. And I think that maybe that has to do with like how many, they want to make sure that they're not driving excessive amounts with the car. I don't know.
But there's some of them that have to keep their phone back to check. Like there's like an app that au pairs have to get for host families to track them. But I'm like, if I have your kid, fine. I have your kid, it's important, whatever. But some of them have to keep it on all the time. Where it's like, I don't have anything to hide, but at the same time, I'm an adult. Like, I just feel like, yeah.
You can argue that it's for safety reasons. Like if I had so our son is young.
Yeah.
But when he gets older, he's going to have like a tracker on his phone. Who knows what will be going on then. It might be just more so because of safety. If you were a young, especially depending on, I know, so, you know, au pairs come ages like what, 18?
Yeah, 18 to 27 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like you're in a whole new country, especially if you're an 18-year-old, you're still pretty young. And I would think that it's probably more so out of like safety. So if we don't hear from you in a while, we could say, oh, well, it looks like she was, 5 miles away.
But would you want me? So I don't have a tracking situation, but would that be like a priority on your list if I was like, I actually don't feel comfortable? Like if you're like, yo, we want to track you all the time. Because some families find it a problem. Like if you said to me, hey, I need to track you when you're with the kid, fine, I understand. Mm-hmm. But let's say, because this app, you can turn it on and off, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's say I'm like, it's Friday night, I'm not working the whole weekend, and I'm like, I don't want this app on. Not even to say that I get out to mischief. It's just like that thing of like, you kind of move to a different country because you want to be independent. Most of us come because of that whole, you want to be independent, you want to travel, so coming from your parents' house to another house, you feel like you're getting a sense of being independent, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's just so weird. Like it's a weird situation. I've never, thank God, nobody's ever asked for me.
I would not track an au pair. However, I understand for safety reasons why one would. Okay. That's the only reason why I would think anybody would really want to track you as an au pair. Is just for your own safety in this like whole other country that you've never been to, like with, and also depending on what city you live in, there may be some dangers that we may feel you should be concerned about, but you are not, because you are not from here and don't know that, there are some major safety issues in this country or city or wherever that you live in. That would be the only reason why I would say people would want to track. Now, would it be, for us, if you said, no, I don't want to be tracked, would that be like, game over? Like, would I not want you to be our au pair? Well, it's a hard question for me to answer because I don't track.
Okay, next question is why an au pair and not a live-in or live-out nanny?
So we've had a live-in nanny in the past. Like the nitty-gritty details of it are pretty much the same. Like the person lives in the house and you provide room and board, and they take care of your kid.
Okay.
So like the whole basics of it are about the same. The things that I find better now that we have an au pair than when we had a nanny are, one, you can't deny the fact that the cost or how much it takes money-wise to pay a live-in nanny, especially if they are a professional live-in nanny, compared to an au pair. There's a big difference.
Oh, really?
It's a lot less money to have an au pair.
Okay.
Two, oh, go ahead.
No. You just confirming what a lot of au pairs say, but it's like coming out of a like because every time au pairs say that, host moms or host families like attack them and be like, oh, but we have to feed you, we have to like buy you stuff and take you on trips and all these things. And it's not to say you're not paying money for us. We're just saying that it's like it's way cheaper to have an au pair. Like just acknowledge it. But like you just confirm.
It is. The cost per hour, especially depending on where you live, if you're in a major city, is a lot less for an au pair than a nanny. And I will say that was one of the first things that made me think about it.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know, this is a lot more enjoyable. And I don't know, I don't know if it's because of the whole cultural exchange part, where, we're meant to learn from each other. So I think that, both my husband and I would say that having you here as our au pair has been a lot more enjoyable than employing a nanny. Like you are, like, I think the idea with an au pair is that you become part of the family. Whereas I feel like, or at least in our situation, our nanny was really like although we were, we hung out sometimes outside of her work hours, that wasn't as common, and it was more like a job.
Oh, so for her it was like a 9 to 5 and she's off.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas I think like this, it's more you're part of the family, you go on vacations with us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are working during that vacation.
Yeah.
For us, you're just more part of the family.
Okay. What made you decide to get an au pair?
At the time that we were thinking about getting an au pair, my husband was traveling a lot. I have unusual hours where sometimes I have to go to work in the middle of the night, so we needed somebody to live in. And I had a couple of really good friends that had au pairs that were like, what are you doing? You should definitely get an au pair. That's how we ended up with an au pair.
What made you choose a South African au pair?
Well,
I know the answer, that's why I'm laughing. Because I want to see how you're going to word it.
As you can see, we are a Black family. I think that there are some things that are a little bit harder for someone who is not of color to assimilate with. One being like doing hair, and also we wanted somebody that kind of looked like us, and we wanted to learn a little bit more about African culture. And we specifically wanted, at least for our first experience, someone who was also of color. It didn't necessarily have to be South African, but it just so happened that, with our agency, all the people of color tended to be from South Africa.
Oh, okay. I see.
And we wanted somebody who was English language primary, like first language being English. So that kind of made it a little bit more difficult for, Brazilians.
How have you given your au pair the cultural experience?
I think we have just immersed her in being part of the family. I don't know, do you feel like that?
Yeah, I eat.
I've had so much chicken. I always say to them, I've had way more chicken than I've had in South Africa ever. Like you guys, the deep fried chicken.
Yeah, even the grits. You guys maybe have grits. Every time it's you and your mom, or your dad.
My dad.
Every time there's like a food that's like known to be a Black American dish, they're like, Angel, come eat ya, come. They literally, or you will call me at the store and you're like, have you had this? And I'm like, well, what's the thing? I even said it's like Ultramel. It's like a drink. It's usually Christmas time. It's eggnog. Yes. You
well,
call
it's not just an African American thing.
But like you call me and you're like, have you had eggnog? And I was like, no, what's that? And she's like, I'm buying it. So yeah, this is why y'all so stingy. I don't even know how you're gonna.
I don't know. Are we stingy?
I don't know. I don't think so. You guys speak. There's always food, or even if there's no food. One thing I like, even if there's no food. So in the beginning, I struggled to like say if I wanted food. To be honest, I lived on my own back home. So if there was nothing at home, I would end up just going and buy stuff. So in the beginning, I started doing that.
She would eat like Nutella sandwiches or honey on toast, or honey and peanut butter on toast.
So I would, like, they would say, what do you want from the store? And I never knew what I wanted. So, because I want like familiar with the stores, like what they have. So I would always just like have bread and be like, no bread and Nutella, bread, peanut butter and honey, like those things. And then I would go during the day, and my host dad used to work from home. So he would go to the store, buy groceries, and I was like, no, thank you, I'm fine. And then I would go to the grocery store and buy, like, look at what's there, buy a lot of stuff, and come back, and he'd be like, I was just at the grocery store, like, why didn't you say you wanted all these things? And I'm like, no, just... And then we had to, like, work out a system because I ended up, like, they'd be like, stop using your money for food. We're meant to feed you. So, no, there's always food. And even when my friends come over, they feed my friends, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you ask for it, we will get it.
Yeah, I always,
So I hope that we're not stingy. I don't think we are.
Oh my God. What was your first impression when you met me? That's what I wonder. I asked my host dad this when I saw this message. I was like, what's your first impression when you met me?
Initially, you were a little bit more reserved than what it seemed like you were in your video.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we really liked was like in your video where, you know, I don't know, I guess everybody's familiar with this, you know,
I'm like excited.
There are videos that you can look at and kind of before you decide if you want to interview the person. And on Angel's video, she was like, very boisterous, I guess much like she is on this channel. And, but then initially when you first came, you were kind of like quiet and reserved.
I'm very shy.
And so we were like, But then you warmed up in your...
Yeah, and then I was like, why? What can you say to all those that want to get an au pair but are a bit like nervous about it?
We love having an au pair. Or as Angel is an au pair. Angel is our first au pair.
After my first year, so I'm going to be on for the third year now, 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
But after my first year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to like a nice place that's hot. I'm like leaving you guys. And you guys, I was like, I think you guys should experience another country. It'd be so good. And they were like, no. Like, my host and I were both like, no, stay, please. They were like, are you unhappy?
So wait, what was the question? How do we like it?
No. Like, what would you say to all like the mommies out there who want an au pair?
So if you're thinking about it, you should actually do some research and see if it's something that would fit for your family. And know kind of what you want in an au pair and be very honest as you are embarking upon, you know, determining who your au pair will be, what you want. I think that's what makes like a big difference. Like you have to be very honest about the hours that they'll be working.
Yeah, that was helpful.
Yeah, and you know, if they're gonna have to work some weekends, you have to say like you're gonna work some weekends if you're in. But don't say that you're not going to work weekends when you really do need somebody to work some weekends.
Yeah.
And I think also you have to be very aware that, and I think that maybe this is a little bit different from a nanny. Like they're not there to like raise your children and you do like nothing.
You're hitting it on the nail. Like I feel like you need to say it louder for the people at the back.
Like they're not there to like raise your children and you do like nothing.
Because some people just don't like their kids, and I always say this to her and my host dad. I'm like, I'm so glad you guys actually like your kids, because even if my hours are like from like what, let's say 2 to 5 o'clock or something, and one of them walk in, I know that if I need to go to the store, if I'm just like I'm done, they like go, and it's like 3 o'clock, they like go, like they let you like go, like, or they like be here, like he can sit and watch us. Okay, we're back. I had camera drama as always.
I think the last thing I wanted to say was like different from a nanny who like her job is really like she is there to take care of your kid, like, and that's really it. Like the whole au pair thing is really meant to be an exchange. It's not all about you. Like they didn't come here specifically to take care of your kid. It's like a means to an end, which is to get an experience of what it's like in the U.S. or wherever they're going, you know, to facilitate that, they're helping to take care of your kids.
Okay, well said. Well said. People are gonna like you. They'll be like, what? What was the time frame to get an au pair?
So we had decided that we were going to get an au pair in probably January. We really committed to it in like February, March, paid the money. I think we met you in April.
More like June or July.
Was it June?
Yeah, I think it was actually July. It was probably late June, early July. Because you know why I'm saying no, it can't. Yes, it was early because I left my job at the end of July because I didn't work for a month, and that was August, and then I came here in September. Okay. So because I remember we had our first interview, and I was like, I'm coming back. I hadn't told anyone I was coming back. But at the same time, I was like, am I really going to come back? Do I really want to go back into like au pairing? We had spoken. I said, I'm still going to speak to other host families. Okay. And I did, but I was still like, And then stuff happened and I was like, stuff it. I'm leaving this country. I am leaving this job kind of. And then I spoke to other host families like seriously. But I remember thinking like, even though I spoke, I think it was July because I remember when I put my profile out and everything, I was like, am I really gonna do this? I remember thinking like, and it was July.
I know we interviewed people for about a month to a month and a half.
No, yeah, I think we interviewed in July. Because so I hadn't, when I had the whole like, am I sure, am I not sure? I don't think I had spoken to you guys yet. Okay. Because it was July. Because I remember clearly I moved, because I wasn't living at home. I had to move home in August because my contract was coming to end, that kind of stuff. So that's how I remember that. Like, it was like July.
I just know we spent, like, so we signed up and then they were like, you need to start looking. We kind of dragged our feet in terms of looking for people. I would peruse and see who was on there. And then they were like, if you really want this au pair to be here by September, you need to find somebody. And so we were like, okay. So then we like really started interviewing for real. And I think it was like a month and a half of like interviews, and then after that, after we had decided that we both like mutually agreed that we were going to, do it. I know it was at least a month before you came.
Yeah, because I want to say I think it was
it had to be 2 months. Because the only reason why I remember this is because there was an au pair who was in the U.S. that was looking for a rematch, and the LCC asked if she could stay here while we were waiting for you to come.
That's why I said it.
And it was like 2 months because I remember my dad being like, 2 months is a long
time. She was gonna come for like a month with you guys.
It was 2 months.
So that's why I'm saying it's like early July, end of June.
Okay.
Yeah, early July, end of June.
She would have been with us July and August.
Yes. Early July, end of June. Fine. Because I was like, because remember, we spoke and then we didn't speak for a while because I was like speaking to other host families and you were speaking to other au pairs. And then there was a time where, so the host family I was speaking to, I was like, and I was just like, oh, they taken already because I took a while to respond to you guys to say, yes, I want to come with you guys. And then you guys were also speaking to people. And then we spoke like 2 weeks later and you were like, hey, we really like you, that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I like you guys too. But then that night you had somebody else you were going to speak to still. And then you guys came back to me and said you guys want to match with me. And I said I still had a host family. They were also from here. I was like, I have a host family I need to speak to like the next night or something like that. And then I told you guys after that family that I want to come with you guys. So yeah, I want to say like end of June, like around probably the 24th, 20th. Yeah,
probably about right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Has Angel changed? It's Angela, but it's Angel people. Has Angel changed in any way from the person she portrayed in her profile, or the person from the first few months?
I kind of mentioned this earlier. When you first came, you were a little bit more reserved, which was different from the video, or who we spoke to on, like, well, even on camera, even when we interviewed, you were a little bit more low key.
Yeah, I was like,
you were.
My host dad was intimidating me. My host dad was like sitting there trying to act like scary, and I was just like, so when I came this time around, I was like, no BS. I was just like, I am not creating any expectation for this family because I've been burnt before. You guys saw the rematch video, but I was like, I was waiting for host families because I knew that I'm a returning au pair. I was like, host families are gonna offer me the works. They're gonna come with like roses and flowers and vacation trips and pedals and like all these things. And so I was like,
know any better. Yeah. So you were just like,
and so I was just like expecting that. I was like, they're gonna try to sell me the best of the best because they're like, listen, she's been here before, it's gonna be easy for us. Like, we don't have to help her with a driver's license, we don't have to get a bank account, social security. So I was like kind of expecting that. So when I did the interview, my host dad was like, yeah, like you guys like basically didn't know all that.
We're like, no, we didn't offer anything crazy out the box, like.
And yeah, like this, like I always laugh at them, and I was like, I should have went to this other family. They offered me like signing. Remember, I was like, they offered me like my outbuilding and like these signing bonuses, and there's like house managers and all these things, and I was just like, yeah, I don't want this, you know. So I feel like
we were like, you can have a bedroom, you have a bathroom.
Yeah, yeah, and it was very like, and I think that's one of the reasons that I even chose you guys is because it's like you guys, not to say I was a celebrity, but you guys didn't know the whole like that this is what host families, because even when we matched, I had to beg the LCC, like my current LCC, had to be like, take me off the system because host family still kept coming at me because they were like, oh, she's a returning au pair. You know, it's gonna be easy. We don't have to explain the process. Meantime, they were just like, oh, like it was just like, oh, like it was like
we were clueless.
Like, you know, like the other families like, so you've driven in America, so like it's fine. We'll just convert your Colorado license to here. You don't need a bank account. You don't need this. And when I got you, she was like, the first day, she was like, let's get your driver's license. Let's just, like, and I was like, chill. I have literally remember, like, the day we got you, I got you, and then, like, the next day, she's like, I'm gonna get your cell phone. I'm gonna get yours. And she was, like, trying to get everything done. And I was like, chill. Like I know where to go. I know what to do. I was just like, we can go get a cell phone, but I'll get the driver's license. I don't need this. And they were like, oh, like my husband's gonna take you to go get that, and like you guys had like a system where like my host dad was gonna take me to go drive and like all these things, and then she was gonna take me for the phone and accounts and all these things, and I was like, that's fine, like, you know. And I remember saying to your mom like, hey, I'm gonna like go walk to like my Bank of America or something, and she's like, no, we'll drive you, we can't. And I was just like, guys, it's okay, like it's okay.
Yeah, we were like super excited.
Yeah,
ready to go.
What do you look for when you look for an au pair?
Somebody that we can trust. You know, I mean, you're taking care of like the most important thing that we like have in our life. So we want somebody that we could trust. That was like the biggest thing. Somebody that was gonna actually be like kind and nice and caring to our
yeah. Well, I'm kind sometimes. Sometimes I'm
but
kind.
at the same time, couldn't be a pushover because he would like walk all over.
Yeah, you. Yeah. You have to be firm. Else, like this kid, he would push you to like the end. He's like, how far can I go?
Yeah.
So
Definitely
you have
push the envelope if you let him.
Yeah.
So we needed somebody who wasn't a pushover, that was going to be firm, but also going to be kind and really like actually cared about kids and liked kids. That was like important to us.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like we felt like our goal was like just to keep them safe and alive while we're at work.
Yeah.
So that's what we really. Those were like the first things. Like, did you seem like a nice person? Did you seem to really like kids?
Mm-hmm.
And did you seem like we could at least like trust you?
Yeah.
But we had already we had some things that we knew for sure that we didn't want. Like we didn't want somebody who was very young. That was our own personal preference. So we didn't want somebody who was under the age of 21. We already mentioned we wanted somebody that was of color. I don't know. Like, those are like the things that on the actual site we could kind of like weed out for.
Oh, okay. Why do you guys spoil your kids? Why do Americans spoil their kids?
I
don't know.
I mean, I don't know what other countries do, but we probably spoil our kid because there's only one.
That's fair enough. Okay, the next.
Do we treat our kids like much differently than they do in South Africa? I feel like you love your.
No, we definitely do. I think, and this, I don't know if this is spoiling, but we have, so in South Africa and American kids, your kids are more vocal. Like, there's more freedom of speech. You guys emphasize on freedom of speech here a lot, which for us, kids are seen, not heard.
Okay, so that is something that we chose to do in at least our culture, like African Americans. Like I think, like when I was a kid, I didn't have that freedom to.
Okay.
That's something that my husband and I kind of have allowed, and my parents are probably sometimes like,
yeah,
you let them do too much.
What caught your attention first?
About.
Like when you looked at the Aupairs profile, or me in particular?
Oh. I liked when there were videos. Not everybody had videos.
They should have videos. Everyone should do a video.
Yeah, not everybody had them. So we liked when there were videos. Well, we went through the whole thing. We would like read the little bio, see what type of experience you had with kids. Mm-hmm. So I wanted you to have experience with kids. I wanted you to have experience with kids like around the age of my son at the time. I know that people that are coming into this that have like infants definitely want somebody that's been around an infant before. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I look at how much experience you have and what experience that is. I mean, it's maybe not really fair, but I did look at like things like grammar.
Really?
A little bit. I did.
I look at that for dating only.
I mean, because one of the things that we really wanted was somebody who spoke
fluent
English. And so we looked at that. We like pictures. So if you had a lot of pictures, especially if you had pictures with kids.
I feel like mine was so tacky this time. I always say, but
I mean, no, it was really good. I think your thing I remember specifically was your video.
Okay.
And like you were just like seemed very nice and kind and bubbly in the video.
My video was so
I was like,
tacky.
oh, she seems like she's a really nice person. Like, so just be yourself, because you don't want to come to a whole other country and then be a completely different person than what we thought you were in your video. Yeah. So if you're like kind of a quiet person, like be quiet in your video. Yeah. But if you're like an outgoing, bubbly person, be outgoing and bubbly in your video. There are some people that want au pairs that are outgoing and bubbly. There are some people that want au pairs that are not.
Okay, we're going to do 4 more and then we'll be done. Has COVID changed your expectations from your au pair?
I don't know if it changed our expectations, but it changed our needs. And I guess we expected you to fulfill those needs.
What were the needs? What changed the needs?
Well, he was home. So, you know...
I became a full-time teacher.
You became a full-time... Yeah, exactly.
I literally became a teacher overnight.
Yeah, so we went from like him being in school most of the day, and you just like making sure he got on the bus and making sure he got off the bus and making sure he stayed alive until we got home, to you being with him like the entire day, making sure that he can get on the computer, off the computer, and like, you know, ate and did all this other stuff. So you became like a full-time, like really full-time au pair.
Yeah.
And that was not the original intent, and we did kind of hope and or expect that you would like fill that role. When we interviewed, that wasn't on that wasn't part of it.
Like, honestly speaking, and this is for host families, be open and honest, because I remember when you guys gave me my host dad schedule, I remember like it was so blunt, but I personally, because of my experiences with other host families, I appreciated it. Like when you guys said that on Fridays, even though my host dad's gonna be around, I might have to work and stuff. Yeah. I knew, because in my head, if they said to me on Fridays I'd be off because my host dad's around,
I'm expected to be off on Friday. And so if they're like, oh, by the way, you have to get the kid ready, I'll be like, hold up, when I was in South Africa, you said, So when the pandemic hit, I already had known that my schedule changes, and my schedule is not like a lot of au pairs. I don't know. It's like
in a good way or a bad way?
No, it's like it's so flexible, but like I kind of like, for example, with other families, they would give me like we'd sit down weekly and do like a full out. They'd count their hours and they would like
they're very loosey goosey.
Yeah. Whereas with us, it's like I kind of sit like I know their shifts and I know their schedule, so we work around it. And I also just calculate my hours. So if I'm like, okay, like we're pushing it out, I say to them, hey, we kind of, and they be like, oh, okay, cool. And they work around it. So whether you come home or I take a break during the day, or I say like, hey, I just need a few minutes. Like I kind of like my
Or like when you said like, hey, can I not start till?
Like there's times where I'm like, There's times where I'm like, can I start at 10 o'clock instead of 9 or 9:30 or whatever? And they're like, yeah, sure, And then I know like if they need me later, it's not a hiccup because I kind of know. And I also know based on the week, like if it's gonna be a busy week, just by like what time they get home, but like we talk a lot. So like
if I know that I'm gonna have like a tough week and I'm gonna be very late, I'll try to say it ahead of time if I know.
Yeah, so like that helps, like because I always know where I stand before the week starts in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying. What advice would you give to a host family who's not happy with the situation? So host family and au pair. Let's just do it both ways.
I guess it depends on why you're not happy with the situation. I think first you have to kind of talk about it and make sure that or I know that either you or I are not happy with the situation. So I mean, I think the most important thing is I think communication is very important.
Yeah.
Because I think it is devastating to both the family and the au pair, depending on who does it. If all of a sudden it seems, if I just like came to you tomorrow and said, Angel, we want a rematch. You'd be like, what? Like, I thought we were good,
Yeah.
But if, we have been kind of talking about there have been issues or problems or concerns, and we thought that maybe we could try to work through them and then couldn't, and then decided to rematch, then, fine. So I think just communication. But if, you're not happy, or we're not happy, or, the family's not happy, the au pair's not happy, then, maybe rematch is what you need to do and find another better fit.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know, this was under the comment, but I don't know if it's like a question or whatever. I think our au pair has a boyfriend. So, so my question is, my host dad sometimes like tries to like fish here and
we want her to have a boyfriend.
But that's funny. Like, no. Like people on YouTube are already coming in. Like I remember the first week or two we were here and we were speaking about something. Your mom was still here. And you were like, so, would you date an American? I was like, I just landed. And I wasn't like comfortable with him to have that conversation. I was like, And like my husband was like, this already like going for it. So I don't think, like, have you guys ever been interested in like my dating life? Or like, when I go out and come back late, have you ever been like, oh, maybe she's with a guy, maybe she's not with a guy?
No, we figured you'll tell us if you wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, so.
Do you feel like do you feel like, when would the right time be? Like, do you think I should wait until?
I mean, I wouldn't want you to come to us and say, I'm getting married next week. That would like.
Why? Like, if I come and I say I've been dating you for a year, and then I'm like, hey, I'm engaged.
And
okay,
we didn't even know you had a boyfriend?
Okay. But not like, let's say I'm not getting married next week. It's just that I'm just engaged. And I'm like, hey, so.
You'll be like, who is this? Like, when did he show up?
Your face now, you're like, as if it's really happening. First of all, my host kid would be like, dying.
He would. He'd be like, what?
He was like, what? Why? Who is he? So you'd want to know. So you'd want to know, like,
yeah, we'd want to know.
Oh gosh, at least now I know because I'm so.
Are you dating somebody?
No. I'm so like, I'm like with my own family. I would do that. I would like, so I'm engaged.
No, you can't do that. Don't do that to your mother or your host mom, for that matter.
Okay, so now at least now I know for the future that
No, but
No,
like
you should let. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of relationship you have with
that's
your
true.
family.
Yeah,
I mean,
you guys are always throwing people at me. Even the math guy. Even so my host kid has a tutor, and the guy, she comes, she's like, there's a cute guy. I was just like, okay, cool. We literally having a conversation. She's like, so I was thinking I should hook you up with him, and I was like, no. I don't want that. Yeah, no. Oh, my husband's always asking me if someone's cute. Yeah. My husband's like, is he cute? Is he cute? Oh, this guy's cute on TV. So yeah, that's not a problem. That would be like funny. I feel like you guys are waiting for the day, like where I'm like, so I think
we would want to know if you were dating somebody,
and
like,
if I'm
seriously.
Yeah.
We would probably be like, oh, I can't believe you're engaged. Like if you
if I
drop that on us.
Yeah, obviously I wouldn't bring home somebody who I'm not serious with. Like I wouldn't even take them to my home country. Do you ever get family time, or is the au pair always around?
We have family time. You like
On the weekend, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do your own thing. So,
On the weekend, I'm like,
yeah. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of family time.
Like
Again, it depends on your au pair.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are some au pairs that like stay around and are probably like, I know, for instance, there was, so I'm in a mom's group for like host parents, whatever you want to call it.
Host moms.
And there definitely was some discussion about like, you know, some au pairs that were very clingy and like always wanted to be with the family, and that was, you know, a little bit
a lot. That was
just a lot for that particular family.
Oh, shit.
Again, I think it depends on your relationship with that family and like how you kind of fit in with that family.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for you, like when you hang out with us and watch a movie, like it's
not
fine.
like, yeah,
it's
it's
like,
not like, it's
whatever. I mean, we would want you to go to dinner with us, and we never really feel like. I guess we kind of made it. We feel like you're kind of like part of the family, so we don't really care if you're around, but you're not ever around. So
there was this one time. I remember one time where I felt like so. I lived with my family, then I moved out and I lived on my own. So I came with those habits here. And I remember the one time my husband was out of town, then he came back into town like the Friday, whatever. And he was like, he had said, oh, we're gonna go for dinner. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so in my head, I was like, when they said we're gonna go for dinner, it's like them, you know, like them. And so I went upstairs, I like did my thing, not changed. Like in my head, he hadn't said, we like you too, Angel, will be going for dinner kind of. And so then you came back and you were like,
are you
ready? Are you coming? Are you ready? And I was like, for what? And you're like, we're going for dinner. And I was like, oh no, you guys go as a family, that whole thing. And you were like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And then my husband came, he's like, what are you talking about? You family, we're not gonna go for dinner and leave you in the house, like watch TV while we eat. And I was like, oh no, like I felt so bad. I was like, no, I don't want to go. Like I've been here, and it was like one of those weeks where we were busy. So it's like a busy week. It was just like a hard week, and
so
you were busy.
And didn't want to hang out with us. You
no,
were like,
not busy for me. As much as I was busy with work, you guys were busy, and so I thought you guys just wanted to hang out as a family and just like gather your thoughts and just like, you know, bond with one another. So I was like, shame. It's like my host had been out of town. You were busy. And it was like a hectic week, and I was like, oh, maybe they just want to like hang out with their kid and just be on their own. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give you guys space, and I'm just gonna like do something. Because I was like, I'll do something. I'll probably go out at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. And you guys were like, why? Like I remember we went for dinner, I came back, and I still went out again because you guys were like, it's literally, they were so confused. They were like, what are you talking about?
Do you feel like you don't want to hang out with us? Do we ask you too much to come with us?
I always say no to you guys.
No, she does. She always says no.
I was like, I even now have to like say, like, I would like think back, like when we went last weekend to go out and eat. Especially because I feel like we went, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna go out and eat with him. And then I was like, oh, like I've been saying no a lot. And it's not even to say I say no because I have plans. I'm like, no, because I just want to sit down and watch TV. Like it's like nothing serious. It's not like I have a boyfriend to go to or like an event.
So
But yeah, well, since we're on that topic. But so I was like, no. And they were like, but why? My husband was like, but I want you to come. And I was like, okay, I'll come. But like, you guys can go. And then he was like, no, come, I'll be nice to you, I promise. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll come. Oh, let me ask you this last question. Do you have a maid or does the au pair do housework?
We looked at it as it is not your job to do housework. So we have somebody that comes and cleans the house. Even when, like during COVID, when I stopped having people come clean the house, it was like the worst. Because I had to clean the house myself. I never asked Angel to clean her house.
Yeah.
The things that we kind of expect are, one, like you wash our son's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure that you shouldn't clean his room. You're welcome to help him clean his room, but as far as we're concerned, you supervise him cleaning his own room.
Yeah.
Like as far as like you wash your own clothes, we expect you to keep your own room clean if you didn't want the cleaning people to come, and then or to clean your room, and you wash his clothes, you help cook his meals. Like I think that's it. As far as like the kitchen and stuff, I think I look at it as like just being a good roommate. Like sometimes I take the stuff out of the dishwasher. I think most of the time you probably end up taking the stuff out of the dishwasher. Everybody puts things into the dishwasher. Yeah. If I'm washing dishes, then I wash all the dishes. I won't just like wash my dishes and leave your pot. Yeah. And I expect it to be the same. So I look at it like being the best way I could describe it is being a good roommate. Like if you had roommates in the past, you had a good roommate. You guys kind of just worked together.
Yeah.
In the common areas, and that was really it.
Yeah, that helps because like even I always say to like host families, because there's times where you guys do get busy, like, and I know when you guys are busy, I'm busy because I have the kid, but there's times where it's been like a busy week, whatever, and let's say super busy, nobody got around to like cleaning the kitchen, dishwasher, whatever, and I've been doing it the whole week. On the weekend, you guys kind of don't let me do that. You guys like, I would always I literally would come downstairs at like 4 o'clock and eat, and they're like, leave your bowl, or like I'll put it in the dishwasher. I wouldn't like on the weekend, I don't touch the dishwasher, but it's their way of saying like, hey, you've had it the whole week, we kind of got it, which was helpful because it's like, I think if I had to constantly do it without seeing you guys do it, then it would
it'd be annoying.
Yeah, it would be like, why am I the only one unpacking this when you guys are not doing it too?
And then you'll like do things that like you just want to do, and we're like, thank you. Like clean out the pantry.
It's like, but that's just the little OCD in me. So I have like, I'm not super OCD, but there's certain things that just. So I would have like a system, and because I make my host kids lunch and I do like his dinners and all those things, for me personally, set it up to make my life easy. Not to say that they asked me, but they will come back and be like, why? Like, especially you feel so bad. My host had to be like, I'm gonna try not to mess it up. You were like, Angel, you didn't have to. This is not your job. And I'm like, I know, but I am always in this pantry. I use it more than you guys. So I'm like, mentally it's for myself. It's literally for me, because I'm like, I hate like coming and like digging for stuff, and also I'm like, okay, I put this there, I know it's there. I put this there, I know it's there. So she'll be like, you don't have to do it. But yeah. So that is it. It was fun. We covered a lot of questions. It's a long video. Thank you so much for coming, answering our questions. We're excited. If you have more questions, come in the comments and I will respond to them. To everyone else, I hope you treat your au pair well. To all the au pairs, I hope you treat your host family well. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.